Bro, what? And welcome back, everybody. We're back in the junkyard doing another 5 cars you shouldn't buy that love staying here. The last video was a pretty damn good success. So there's a lot more crappy cars that inhabit the junkyard, and I don't want you guys to buy them, so let's get into it. First up is a car that I hate to say I'm too familiar with. It is the 3rd generation Ford Escapes, and I used to work on these things in the dealership when they came out. They suck so bad. I mean, look at this. You want to work on this car? Good luck. You got to take that off. You got to take the bumper off. You have to drop everything from the bottom. They're terrible. That's a bit of a shame. All crossovers are kind of the same, but these look nice. I like these generation of Fords when they came out. It was a big step from the kind of crap they like to, mass produce, but these were nice. These were built off of the European Kuga, which was, I don't know if it was just as bad as this one, but these things suck to work on. Now these things were plagued from the jump. I mean, just look how much room you got to work on. Even taking the air filter out, you gotta remove like the battery box to get it out of the way. This thing was such a pain, and it was so cramped. You can't get your hand in there to sneak and do anything. So you pretty much had to drop everything out from the bottom, pull this out, which was pain. Due to it being so compact, they had overheating issues on the 1.6. I remember doing the recall on these things, and you would have to, it was like an 8-hour recall, paid 6. You have to move a couple of these diffusers, like blinds, Venetian blinds. Change the dipstick. I don't think this is the one that had the effective recall, but these things were junk. The transmissions would go, the turbos would go. The repairs alone, even though technically it was a simple car, everything was just so cramped. You'd have to drop everything out. I remember actually, it was a 1.6. Yeah, 1.6. Catalytic converter was bad. Brand new car, faulty cat. Cat is stuck behind the PTO, the transfer case, whatever you want to call it. You have to take that out. You got to take some bracing out. Yeah, so with these things, when the cats would go bad, you would have to, since it's a part of the downpipe, you would have to remove it from the back of the turbo. But it's not like banded in like a traditional turbo like you'd think. There's 3 bolts in there that get hot and seize themselves onto the end of the turbo. So you're fighting it, you're heating it up, you're stripping bolts. Stupid design. After getting through all that, you're fighting the flange of the turbo. So like 3 bolts and like one of them hooks, and do not buy this Escape, this generation. I think it was from 2011, 2013 up. They're total garbage. I mean, just look, once again, how much space you have to work with this crap. Don't buy it. Total garbage. Bro, what?
What the hell is even that?
It's metal. Oh. There's a spare motor in the back, just in case, this one craps the bit. What the hell did they do to this thing? Oh no, this is not even a car that I had on my list. But this car, you should not, no, don't buy it. What is this? Gotta watch out because they're all stupid hentai waifu stickers on this thing.
Stop it. Get some help.
They got me banned immediately on YouTube. Racing seat for thee, but not for me. Look at that. Oh yeah, weighted automatic shift knob. Oh, this poor Mazda 3 deserves better. What is this? Is this worth something? What is this for? Looks like it wasn't even used. Looks Chinesian. I don't know. It's fake. What the hell is that? The more I look at this car, the absolute worse it gets. What in God's creation?
What is that?
But after we're finished pouring rubbing alcohol into our eyes, we'll move on to everybody's Section 8 favorite, the Nissan Altima. I can almost guarantee you the bumper was off before that happened. Oh no, this was one of the lucky ones. They actually have the factory bumper just chilling out here. But the Nissan Altima, this smells terrible in here. Ugh, it smells like a pet shop. The Nissan Altima, and I'm talking mostly the 2006 to 2011, 12. Look it up, whichever one has the crappy CVT like this one has. It won't take long for you to do some Google searching, some YouTube searching. The swaths of people, the vast amount of people that will tell you, don't buy this car. The CVT will fail. It's only a matter of time. There's a video of a guy who has torn apart one and shows you the metal banding, because it's not a traditional automatic transmission. Think of it more of like a slipping rubber band that expands. You could look it up. It's very hard to explain. It doesn't make much sense. And I guess it didn't make much sense to the Nissan engineers when they decided to throw this piece of crap together. The components inside of the CVT are very thin metal pieces. When they get hot, they get brittle, and they just fail. These are notoriously bad for their transmissions. I think the motors are okay, honestly. Finding one of these in manual is pretty rare, and I think the manual ones have much longer lives and are fairly okay. So the Nissan Altima automatic CVT, stay away from. I do a little more research on the manual, but it still has some pretty bad quality, and tell with a lot of them, they have been not cared for. Next up, getting to the more luxury side of things. I forget what body style they call these, but I'll just go off mostly the early 2000s Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Now, when these cars came out, they were, wait a minute. So now I'm not too familiar with this, but Mercedes guys, I don't think this is an S550 with the AMG package, hence the wheels and the badging, but did these come supercharged? I thought that was the V12. I mean, I could be wrong. Someone correct me. I don't see a supercharger there. Someone just slapped on the badges, I guess. But when these came out from those boxy old generations, my opinion, one of the best Mercedes-Benz ever made. They dumped a lot more money into this one. And I think the last one was like $1 billion worth of research and development for it. And it was a beautiful car. I would love one. That's why those are going up in price. And you could find these for like a couple grand. And I'm not even lying. These things were decked out. You know, this is, I think, a 06. So this is, I guess, we're the better of the years. But I'm really stressing on like 2000, 2001. You know, they still had heated and some massage seats. They had air suspension. You know, look at all these adjustments you can make, heated steering wheel. Like, some of them had night vision. Ah! That was a wild thing. This one was a pretty decked out example. And let me tell you how much of a piece of crap they were, because this is when Mercedes was really dumping into their electronics and making this more of a tech car than just a reliable luxury sedan. And I think these had air suspension. Maybe he converted it. Nope, still has air suspension. These things will fail. Notorious for failing. You'll see them on the street just sagging. Looks like they're slammed to the floor. No one upgraded that way, trust me. That's how they are. And they are so expensive to just maintain and repair. Go on Rock Auto right now. I don't know the prices. Look up a set of air struts for these things, a module for them. You have to program them. They have electrical nightmares like you wouldn't believe. Transmissions like to overheat in some conditions. Sad, because when these things came out, they were mind-blowing. Same thing with the 7 Series, BMW. Kind of just followed suit with BMW. With Mercedes. Last generations were beautiful cars. They were way ahead of their time and not for reliability. So, yeah, I would avoid these. I know they look good. They're cheap on the marketplace, but we'll break your bank. Next up, sticking with the luxury department, we have any Cadillac with the North Star engine. Now this is another example of cars that you will find littered on marketplace, and they're very good prices, and they're very well kept because a lot of old people bought them because of the style of having a Cadillac. Look at that, you even got a sunscreen. And they're very well kept. Usually have low mileage, but the issue is, and what you don't want to get yourself into, is this mess. Here, let me just... The Cadillac North Star. This was Cadillac's flagship motor. It started off in the front wheel drive Cadillacs specifically, so made exclusively for Cadillac by General Motors. Then they kind of started weaseling it into like Oldsmobile, I believe, and Buick. No, I don't know if Buick really had them, but they've had some North Stars find their way into normal cars. But the main issue with why these things sucked, and they were kind of pretty big at the time in terms of a leap forward in technologies, the head gaskets would constantly blow. Go on Marketplace right now, type in Cadillac, look for a North Star engine. They'll probably have like 50,000 miles, but it say need head gasket. And what the problem with these things were, they were all aluminum, and they even put the head bolts aluminum thread, and they would just strip themselves out and lift the head, compromising the head gasket. Because I know the Hard Wizard really likes these engines, and if you do the, I forget the repair, I think he uses a cast bolt, maybe he uses head studs. Repair does work, but it's a lot of money to do. You got to drop the motor out completely. You got to tear it apart while it's out. You got to thread it. You got to hope it works. I've never done one before, but I think it's just too much for this. Maybe if you find a really super low mileage one and just have all the time in the world to do it, yeah, go for it. I mean, these things were actually pretty nice when they drove well, but that thing's a ticking time bomb. It would cost you a lot of money to repair, even if you want to bulletproof it like that. My answer to you is stay the heck away from North Star. And the next car and last car on our list, next to the shining example of American freedom, is the Chrysler Pacifica. Now, where do I begin on the Chrysler Pacifica? Oh, why am I touching that? Ugh.
Brother, what's that?
I swear I need to bring antiseptic to this damn place. Alcohol, fire, burn my hands off. But yeah, where do I begin with this? Pretty much, there was an automotive problem list. You have an arrow, throw it, you'd hit something that would be a common problem on these things. First off, rust is a huge issue. We're not really going to see rust here because it's Florida. These things would rot faster than you could blink. And on top of that, both had, I think, the 3.5 and the 4-liter, which were sludge bombs. These things sucked, and they were such a pain to work on because look at the engine orientation. I know this is just the cover. If you lift that up, it still sits high and in everyone's way. Suspension is always terrible. I mean, look at these tires. You go through suspension way more often than you should. It's crappy Chrysler build quality, and oh boy, yeah. Picked in the dash from, too late. Yeah, apparently these things rode like crap, they drove like crap, and everything about them nasty. These were based off of the minivans platform, and I mean, I don't know, they were trying to flex luxury. A lot of people think that these shared some type of genes with the Mercedes product, but this was way before Mercedes. Honestly, I don't think Mercedes would donate a problem like this to anybody. Now, these things did come front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, but these all-wheel drive systems had a huge problem where a lot of people would just disconnect them and drive them front-wheel drive. I think this one's front. I can't tell them under here. It's under my eyes. But yeah, that's why you don't really see them on the road anymore. These things will live their last lives in the junkyard. So that was it. Another 5 terrible cars you should avoid like the plague. If you really like these videos, and I enjoy making them, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been such a huge support to my channel, and I'd love to have you on for more rides like these. If you guys would like to support me even more, I have a merch website. You can buy some cool stuff, some stickers, some apparel, not only bobby belt stuff. You'd be doing a really, really awesome job in supporting me, guys. I want to thank you all again, and catch you in the next video.